it says, without me putting my face right in the camera, it says you are always where you need to be. You are always where you need to be. Alright. I'm gonna write some, I was gonna start by writing a little bit. Let's see. I usually write things like, I surrender this to the divine, or the divine spirit. I release attachment to this. And then when I'm done, I won't have this on the video, but I'll usually cut them out, keep them in little squares, and I put them in the GodBox. So I usually write out the problem, say the problem is like a financial problem or a health problem or something. Like, for example, I have a dentist issue at the moment. I write out the concern, and then I say, I surrender this situation, and I ask for the highest good for all involved. The highest good for all involved. I ask for the solution to be of the highest good for all involved. And I think it's the best way to surrender. Excuse me, I still got a little bit of a wheeze. I can't seem to kick this lung thing. So, I think it's the best way to surrender a problem, whether it be with another person, with yourself, with money, with fear of the dental procedure. You know, it doesn't matter what it is. I feel like when you're asking for the highest good and the highest consciousness to take over and lead you, I think creative solutions show up. Creative solutions that you might not have been able to see from the perspective of just stress and fear and anxiety. Okay? And like they always say, it's not my quote, I forget where it came from, but it's like life is happening for you and not to you. That's not always easy. You know, I mean, I had a tragedy happen to me and my family when I was young. And I feel like if somebody said that back then, I would be like, no, I'm just unlucky that that happened. But as I've grown and I've been a spiritual seeker, and, you know, I say that because I really have been a spiritual seeker, but I truly believe that seek and never find is also a thing. That's a whole separate topic. But I feel like even that experience was for my ultimate good, because I truly believe that I'm more than just this body and mind, that there's more going on. And so I journal, you know, the human problems that Michelle, myself, has. I don't really journal. I just write it out and kind of surrender it. Surrender it to my higher self. Surrender it to God. Surrender it to the God energy. I think I've talked about my cats are getting into stuff because they see me filming. Hannibal. Come here, buddy. Hannibal. Sorry, I really don't want him to mess up my video, but... And the lighting is terrible. I'm in my bedroom today. I am literally in my bed because I'm so, sore. I know I'm jumping subjects, but, I have spinal stenosis in my lower back, and while I have lost weight, I aggravated with my 12-hour nursing shifts, so I have ice on my back, and I'm all cozy in my bed, and hopefully this setup will work, because it is a little bit, like rocky how things are set up. And of course the cat, you know, Hannibal, he's always got to be the star of the show. So, I'll write a few more. Releasing attachment is a big thing. I think that's part of the problem with stress. It's like, I'm so attached to the outcome of say for example, it's about getting a certain job or getting a certain partner. Hannibal. Sorry. I was gonna leave the fan run so that you would not hear him do this, but the fan was so loud that it didn't exactly sound like white noise. It sounded too distracting. Okay. Alright, so let me do some more writing here. So, I was saying, like, I surrender this, I ask for the highest good for all involved. Okay. I just think it's a great prayer because what you're saying is you're releasing everyone. It's kind of like almost like a forgiveness thing in a way. It's like you're just releasing grievances and you're truly asking for a solution that is not only going to benefit you, but you're asking kind of for peace all around, you know? And I think that there's something very powerful about that. It resonates with me. So I put my dentist issue, and you guys are gonna know because I have a little mini role play that I did where I'm pretending to talk to the dentist, but I'm not liking the dental dam that they have to use to do a root canal. And so I'm trying to find solutions for my anxiety in regard to that. So I will surrender that. I surrender some of the other stresses I have. I have typical stresses, you know, financial, school. School's been going well, but still stress. If you don't know, I'm in a master's program. It's kind of a long haul because it's a bridge. It's a long process. But ultimately, I will get to work as a psychiatric nurse practitioner once it's done. So I wanted to give myself more options for the future, more flexibility. I like working inpatient. There's something that feeds my ADHD brain about the chaos and the unpredictability. However, I'm going to pick this up for a second. I'm going to put my journal down. However, I also feel like I'd like to be at a desk, you know, maybe even working from home sometimes with my, you know, my dogs at my feet and my cats and surrounded, maybe even my African gray parrot. I have like a goal of having like, you know, like a mini zoo, whatever's like formidable and functionable. Okay, so I can page through my journal a little bit, but I will show you the GodBox, and maybe I will save the books for the lo-fi baby mic video, right, so I have something. Alright, I'm gonna try to do this without knocking over the camera or dropping the box, but this is the box. Okay, it's ginormous, and it has baby elephants on it because I think it was meant to be for a child, you know, like a keepsake box for a little kid. But I liked the print because it has hearts, like balloons and hearts and baby elephants. And when I open it, it has the papers in it from the stuff that I've surrendered. I usually leave it in there for a while, and then when I'm ready to do it again, I go back and I look and I read through it and I see what kind of solutions. Yeah, I cut them up. They're never cut up like, you know, in any kind of neat fashion. There's a bunch here. Maybe I can read one. Okay, for example, July of 2023, I wrote, I surrender my whole relationship with my daughter to the God oneness, the universe, for healing and transformation with peace and love. See, and you know, it has gotten better since July 2023. Let me see what other ones I have. Sorry. I haven't gotten used to like rambling without the mic cover. I did a video in my car where I actually edited out some of the breathing because I felt like it was hot and I was just literally breathing into the mic the whole time. And when I re-listen to my videos, it bothers me so much. But when I've listened to other people's videos and I hear them, I actually kind of like it. So it's weird. Alright. Okay. My strong desire to expand my family with cats, dogs, birds, and maybe a partner too. A permanent home. This is July 5th, 2023. I release the fear and ask to be shown how to surrender. I like that. It's so I do have some of these are repetitive. Okay. My overall dislike of working overtime, always wanting to be off. I surrender this thought. I don't really work overtime anymore. I could probably use the money, but in a way I did solve this in like a different kind of way. Okay. Acceptance in general, accepting the moment the way it is, and that's important because I was just discussing this with my cousin. I watch a lot of Locked Up Abroad, and we noticed a theme, and that theme is that people, when they accept their situation, and of course in these examples, their situation is dire. They're going to jail in another country, sometimes life sentences. But like once they accept it, it's like peace comes, some level of peace, and sometimes even transition. Sometimes it's even like after a couple of years of teaching the inmates their language or learning the language of that country, like they end up getting out of jail. Something happens, something shifts. So that's a dramatic example, but I think that aiming for that acceptance is always like going to benefit, you know what I mean? Oh, sorry. Okay, anxiety in general. Like just like anxious thoughts and fear, uneasiness. Asking it to be released. This is also July 5th, 2023. Okay, that has definitely gotten better. It's still there. I still deal with it. However, I manage it better. It only seems to pop up when my routine is vastly different, like traveling or surgery or a dental procedure. Then it's there again, but in a daily sense, it's definitely improved. Surrendering all desires to the highest good for all involved. See, there's back to that I've been using that, and I think I got that from the author Gabrielle Bernstein. I think I got that from the author Gabrielle Bernstein. You can look her up. A lot of her books are inspiring. Okay. Try not to breathe into the mic. I got my dinosaur shirt from Temu. This was a gift from my daughter. I love it. I'm a child. Like, it's probably for younger people. I don't care. I love it. I surrender my struggle with weight, ask for peace, and I surrender again to the highest good for all involved. That's an important one because up until the age of 10, I think I had a healthy relationship with food, and I was a normal weight. And then my mom passed away when I was right before I turned 10, and something just happened. It's like I learned to cope with food, and I don't know. There was this weird emotional connection. family. That could improve, but I do have a sense of family. I tell you, like, my dream life would scare some people, because my dream life would be like a cozy house with a good, decent amount of land, or at least a decent yard that has a very strong privacy fence, a couple of dogs, cats, a parrot. That would be my family, my close friends, my daughter, seeing them often, having work that brings a sense of, like, that Jesus, Course in Miracles has kind of a different interpretation of Jesus' message. So he's still a big part of that, and it's written in it's written with a lot of Christian terminology. But one of my favorite ones is, because I never finished them, so I don't know some of because there are 365 of them. One of my favorite ones is, you are never upset for the reason you think. You are never upset for the reason you think. You are never upset for the reason you think. I like that one. It puts things in perspective for me sometimes. Okay, so I'm probably going to stop this now because I just wanted to do the GodBox. I wish I could show it to you better without dropping it or making a huge. Here we go. There we go. Now you can see it better. See, you can see it better now. Isn't it cute? Very childlike. I also have Starbucks today. I have a caramel iced latte. My cousin and I, we met up today, which was nice. And we got this, and it's raining like crazy. Hence, like, why my hair is the way it is. I had the hood up, and I just literally threw on my outfit and threw a sweatshirt on. I did manage to put some lip gloss. That's the best I could do for this. But anyway, alright, so I'm gonna do another video with the baby mic and show off my books. And then I'm going to do the gum chewing video that was requested. There's a few other videos coming. Grocery haul will be in the near future. I have like a article about stuff to know around the age of 40 that I think could be helpful. Excuse me. Having like a little bit of my reflux because I'm drinking this now. Okay, so thanks for being here with me, listening to my spiritual stuff and some of my views and my GodBox. And any other requests, send them to me. I'll put them on the list. I'm actually moving kind of fast with it. Gonna put my nails back on and do some more scratching stuff too, because I had fun with it and I treated myself to one mic cover. That's it. That's all I get. One fancy little mic cover that somebody made. I might try to make one myself. We'll see. Alright, it's Friday afternoon. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you so much for being here. Sorry about the lighting. I know it's not great, but I kind of jumped on with all this back pain. I couldn't really sit anywhere where I wasn't able to be comfortable and put ice on my back. So, alright, and the role play with the dentist is coming. I will tell you before I end, I give so much credit to all of you that do high-level editing. If somebody wants to teach me, I'll hire you. I cannot figure out how to properly change the background because every time I do it, it's like very horrible. Like the backgrounds change but my arms disappear. Then I was trying to add in a photo and it keeps adding it in the wrong time frame of the video. So I'm like, maybe I am not for